comes to mission Debrief. We've played every mission of the mainline Halo video games, and now we're playing every mission from the rest of the games in the franchise in chronological order. Each episode will be discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along and have your thoughts read on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be playing the locked Operation Brothers Keeper and recapping Spartan Strike on the next episode. If you like what you hear and want to support the show, visit Podcast Evolved on Patreon. You can also receive a free audiobook trial by visiting audibletrial.com/podcastevolved. I did it. Finally got it right. Woo! This episode, we're debriefing the 4 main operations included in Halo Spartan Strike. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside David Arnold.
Hello, everybody.
And Krista Brown.
Why orange?
Orange kind of grew on me. I wasn't so sure right away about it.
I'm pretty sure orange is Jeff's favorite color because he doesn't stop talking about it on Twitter.
I think Jeff had something to do with this game, I believe.
Did he? Was he with 343 in 2015? I think he was.
So.
We started Evolved.
Oh yeah,
in 2013, 2014. So
we still didn't look that up after.
Yeah, I have no idea. Was it? Whatever.
All right.
I don't know. It's impossible to find that out.
It is. Yeah, we'll never find out.
It's impossible, yeah. Who will know?
The internet's too big.
It will forever be a mystery to us.
We've had some people go back and listen to them all from like square one recently, which is awesome.
People were talking about
Recently?
that on Discord, and I'm like, what is going on? Are you crazy? Who would want to do that?
People must be bored. They must be so bored because it's got to be tough to go back to like episode 1 and listen to us.
Well, remember, our first episode was actually episode 0, where we just talked about like why we like Halo.
All right, let's talk about Spartan Strike. This is the first
we
debrief
don't
for
want.
Spartan Strike. So, Krista, why don't you do a run through or an overview like you always do? Tell us about the game, marketing, all that sort of fun stuff.
Okay, we have some fun stuff. The developer was Vanguard Games and 343 Industries, so the same people who made Spartan Assault. The original release date was April 16th, 2015 for Windows 8, PC, tablet, and phone. Just to mention, that's it. It's not on Xbox. It's not on Xbox at all.
Yeah, where is it?
I don't know. You can connect a controller to your PC and play it just like you would on the Xbox, but for some reason it's not on the Xbox.
I do not know.
There are 4 main operations with 6 missions each. There is a 5th operation with 6 more missions that can be unlocked after obtaining gold status on all previous missions. Why did they do this? It's not hard to get. It really isn't. But it's still just kind of annoying to have that pressure over you, because I wanted to play the missions as little times as physically possible, so...
Well, some of that's because you had a bad experience, which we'll talk about. But it's weird. Coming back to this, I remember when I told you guys about that. I was looking through the missions, the operations, like, wait a minute, what? And I had never played it because I think I just played through the 4 operations that we're going to talk about today, and I was like, F it, I'll get back to it eventually. I never did. So.
And we were all angry when we heard that. We're like, no.
And then also a note is Halopedia is a very good resource we talk about all the time. They're always thorough on their facts and just overviews of missions and timelines, all that stuff. Halopedia is a place to go. They're barren on Spartan Strike. Spartan Strike is barren.
Spartan Strike, if Halopedia's forgotten about Spartan Strike doesn't even exist at this point.
I know. There's some cool things to talk about, though. Like, there's a kind of neat story to talk about, but I think it's just literally, I think that blocked by gold status, like, people got there and just like, F it. It's just too bad.
Yeah,
also,
that's understandable.
I think it not coming on Xbox probably limited the audience a lot as well, but I
really don't understand why, because you think, like, that'd be where your biggest audience is.
Especially throwing it on Game Pass, like...
Yeah, it makes so much, especially because we'll talk about now, like, it works with an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's totally compatible. It's not like it's a 2 gig game Do you know what I mean? It's not mental.
The game, like, once you plug in the controller, the game automatically changes the controls to controller controls. Like, instantly. The game's optimized for a controller.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. And
there's a little history that you'll read here in a second, but go ahead, sorry.
Okay. And also, Spartan Strike is way better than Spartan Assault. Like, just the gameplay and the weapons and how the game kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, and how the game kind of, like, takes you through the story is way better than Spartan Assault.
Yeah.
I have to keep thinking every time. I remember it's the first one because there's an A, and that's the first letter in the alphabet. That's how I remember. But yeah, I just don't get it. Like, it's a better game than the original. It's a lot of fun. It's got an interesting story. Why aren't we expanding it to a bigger audience? But the next thing we need to talk about is the Metacritic score. So the Metacritic score is 86 on tablet and only 66 on PC, and I think I know why it's only 66 on PC.
Why is that, Krista?
Because it crashes every other mission, and it doesn't choose to crash like when you're halfway through the mission. No, it exclusively crashes right at the victory screen. Like the mission complete
before
screen.
It auto-saves.
Yeah.
Before
you get the score, that's when it crashes. You go through the entire mission, and then it crashes.
Oh no.
That's the only point where it crashes. So it's very, depressing.
That's terrible.
It's very depressing, so...
Well, I didn't have that experience at all on my PC, and I don't know if it's because of the specs of my PC. You guys are playing on laptop?
Yeah, I'm playing on a laptop.
Yeah.
So there's probably something there with your guys' setup versus my setup. I had zero issues. I had one crash, maybe. I might have had one crash. But that's rough. Ugh, that's frustrating.
I ended up because it was like you'd be able to play the first mission when you log in the game just fine, but the mission after that, it crashes. So literally after every single mission, I would just exit the game and relaunch the game after every single mission. That's the only way I was able to get through. I had even more of a hard time on the last mission of D. That's the last mission before the DLC, yeah.
Yeah.
That one crashed no matter what I did, and I was really mad.
Oh, really?
Because I had to play it so many times, yes.
Oh, no. Ugh.
Yeah.
I never had it crash mid-mission. It was only ever at the end of a second.
Yeah, it was
And sometimes I'd roll the dice, and I'd be like, maybe this time it'll work, and it might work. I'm like, oh, it's fixed. And then it would crash after the next mission.
Yeah.
I'm like, god damn it.
Yep. So I would get through the last mission, which is a bit of a long one, and it would crash, and I'd lose everything. Like,
that's terrible.
Why? But, platform and difficulty. There's only one difficulty, unless you have a bad PC, and then it's a bit more difficult. But the game includes skull modifiers. I hope one of them can get rid of the crashing. So the Halo timeline covered is October 20th, 2552, and July 2557, Halo 2 period, and then fast forward to Halo 4 period. We'll talk about why the story is like that later. So the current versions are Windows 10 Store, via Xbox Game Pass, or Steam. That's the only place where you can get it.
Yeah. Did you guys buy it off?
Else.
Oh, you had it on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, I have it on Game Pass.
Okay. And I played it on...
I bought it from the Microsoft Store.
Oh, right. Because you don't have Ultimate, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
How much was it?
So I went there. It was €3.
Oh, okay.
So approximately $3.
Gotcha.
That's not bad.
No, but it wasn't too bad. The Microsoft Store experience was terrible. But like,
yeah.
And it's the first game, and probably the only game I will ever purchase there.
It's a bad store.
Bad store.
Very bad store.
But I've got it now somehow. It's done. We've played it.
You got some Chivos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they add into your normal Chivo score?
Yes. If you go on your Xbox account, you should be able to see Spartan Strike on there.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was looking for it on my Xbox, but it doesn't pop.
Oh. The achievements don't show up, like the game itself?
No.
Oh.
No, there's no record of it at all.
Oh really? It shows up on mine.
Your number should have gone up, though.
My number probably did.
Yeah.
Your number's so big, I bet you can't even tell.
There's a lot of achievements.
Some marketing. I feel like there was absolutely no marketing for this,
Yeah.
which is also kind of sad. There was an announcement trailer. It was originally planned to release on December 12th of 2014, but then got pushed back. On December 5th, 343 announced that the game would be pushed back to early 2015 due to issues with the Master Chief Collection. Oh, that's why
That's
this is
the
forgotten
reason.
game.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah.
Yep. So they took
That
that
makes a
team,
lot more
Time.
sense.
the team that was working on that, they shifted all on the online, like Master Chief Collection stuff. And who knows if some of those team members are still working on Master Chief, because I know, they're doing PC release and all that sort of stuff now. So they've never gone back and fixed it.
Well, I'm also guessing that because of the crazy bad PR that Master Chief Collection got in its first couple months, probably everyone who was going to be doing marketing on Spartan Strike got turned away from that and damage control on Master Chief Collection.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's very unfortunate that those things were so close together.
Yeah, they were cranking at that time, right? Because this
Yeah,
is right around
I
Halo
mean-
5, they were
Halo 5 was the
cranking.
year after, yeah. So then Halo 5 came out, and then they're like, all right, let's slow it down,
Yeah.
guys. All right, so we have some additional notes and media. So
Well, real quick, the actual game was released, and you might have said it earlier. So it was just we were all waiting for the game. I remember waiting for this thing to come out. I was excited about it, and then all of a sudden this announcement trailer came out, and it's like, oh, it's available now, and it was just
Oh.
out there. Yeah, you're like, okay, we're done. Here you go, and you can play it now.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
It's not good. So we have some additional notes and media. Monetization was never present in this game, unlike Spartan Assault.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to get something, you just had to grind up some XP.
Yep. Well,
there's-
it's CR in this game. It's called
Oh, whatever.
CR.
Credits. Same stuff. There is an integrated story with Halo 2 and Halo 4. Locations and events are present throughout the game's story, which is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
There is an exclusive nameplate, avatar, and emblem that are unlocked in Master Chief Collection by playing the game on your Windows computer or Windows phone.
And the phone version, Windows Phone doesn't exist anymore, so you can't do that.
Yeah.
But,
So,
yeah.
on your PC, if you have Windows, you can get it.
Mm-hmm.
There are 20 achievements in total. There are 32 medals. The game keeps track of which medals you've achieved.
Did you guys check on your medals at all? I checked today.
No.
And I had
No.
all of them but 2. I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to go get these. One of them is that I don't have is kill 10 straight enemies with your Magnum without getting hit. That's actually
not bad.
that's actually harder
Is
than
it?
I was trying. Well, I was trying it against
Yeah.
the crawlers. It didn't work out so well. So maybe I should try it in like a Covenant
Grunts
level.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first game had a bunch of them.
What else do we got? We have leaderboards, but I didn't see any leaderboards.
Mine was broken.
So maybe no to leaderboards.
Yeah, it's there.
It no work.
Mm-hmm.
Assault Ops, which was weekly and now disabled. It was mission specific, 3 per mission. Each awards credits that can be used to spend on weapon upgrades. So it was like a weekly challenge, basically.
Well, there were weekly challenges. Those are disabled.
still exist.
But then, like,
Oh.
the ones that are built into the game, there's 3
Yeah.
per mission. Yep.
Those were fun.
I did a few of them. Yeah, they were good.
I wish that
They
you
very
could...
much
Go ahead.
you gotta grind. Yeah, you gotta grind for some of them because it's like it might be like kill 10 raids in this mission, and there might only be 2 raids in that mission. So
You have to
they're
keep
gearing
playing.
you towards replaying them. Yeah.
Now, was there any way to look at your progress during the mission?
No, and I kept trying, and I was like, "This is really annoying."
Yeah.
It's awful because I would like read them and I'd be like, okay, I need to use my assault rifle and then I need to use the Wraith and then I'm like trying to memorize them, but I
Yeah.
just can't do it. I'm
Forget
like,
it
I can't
instantly.
memorize all 3. Yeah, I get in the mission, I'm like, ah shit, what was I supposed to do? Oh, it was awful.
There should
Yeah,
be an
I
overlay.
like the idea, but yeah, there should be an overlay that you can enable, disable, or like as you're getting them, they like pop up.
Well, the other thing,
Just an objective screen. Press pause and tell me
Yeah.
my score, and that kind of stuff.
the other thing is you get them and then you can't get them anymore. So you'll still get credits every time you play a mission because you get credits for getting bronze, silver, and gold. But once you get those assault ops challenges, whatever you call them, you just get them once and that's it. And so then essentially you can just you can burn through all that if you buy boosters and armor abilities and weapons and stuff.
Well, unfortunately, like they're not supporting the game anymore, which means there's no reason for them to change out anything, which is unfortunate. Finally, we have an exclusive Mega Block set created based off the game. So they made toys. They were obviously trying to push this towards us, but then bad things happened.
So this is a cool little set, and David will talk about it a little bit more. Actually, this and a different set that Mega Bloks came up with. They actually created the Kestrel, which is really cool. So we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Well, technically, they stole it
well,
and then created it.
Yeah, you're right. There's some ideation, some riffing. All right, so let's talk about the. We'll do our overviews here, and I'm going to give you 2 overviews because there's 2 different time periods, and then I'll talk about what happens in this game, in these 4 operations, and then we'll do, kind of dive into some more details, and then the individual operations for you. So the last mission before the first Spartan Strike operation, I'm gonna put it at Cairo Station. I'm gonna say that because that's October 20th. That's when Covenant comes to Earth, and it's right before Master Chief goes and heads down onto Earth. So Cairo Station, the Covenant found Earth. Master Chief greets the relatively small invading force with his new dual-wielding skills and a beautifully balanced battle rifle before the bomb planted on Cairo Station to punch a hole in the Covenant fleet. Meanwhile, Thel 'Vadam is made the scapegoat for the loss of Installation 04 by the Covenant hierarchy. Then we fast forward for part of this game to 2557, and this one's a little more ambiguous because we only really it's a July date for the whole 2557 stuff. So it's all happening during Halo 4. We don't know exactly when. We assume it's before the composer event or the composing event in New Phoenix, because New Phoenix is featured in this game. So I'll just give my overview of the composer mission. The Mantle's approach exited slipspace outside of another Halo, Installation 03, which we are on in this game. The UNSC was researching the composer on a nearby facility, and the Didact had his eyes set on obtaining the device that could devastate humanity through digitization. Chief infiltrated the lab and began working with Dr. Sandra Tilson to stop the ancient Forerunner from getting his giant murder toy back. Despite Chief's best efforts aboard a Mantis mini-mech, the Didact captured the composer, dusted everyone in the lab, and headed toward Earth. Now in Spartan Strike, across our operations, we have Orphic Sphere, Steadfast Pursuit, Valiant Hammer, and Adamantine Shield. During the Battle of New Mombasa, a team of ODSTs is sent to obtain a Forerunner device called the Conduit. The device has the ability to open portals that can immediately transport anything across the galaxy. The Conduit is lost as the Prophet of Regret leaves Earth, but reappears in 2557 on Gamma Halo. A UNSC Spartan is sent to obtain the device and attempt to prevent the Covenant from using it to amass Prometheans on Earth. The Spartan successfully obtains the device, but the portals had already been opened, and he must race back to help defend Earth. So again, the dates are October 20th, and then 20th, 2552, and then fast forward to July of 2557. The game opens really similar to the Spartan Assault, what we already played. There's not you can go into the menu and watch all the cutscene. There's not a specific intro cutscene like there was in Spartan Assault. The first cutscene is really just the Operation Orphic Sphere intro cutscene. So, Roland gives you a little, hey, this is a Spartan training thing, and have a seat. Oni gave us access to check out these missions that were previously classified. So, and it's interesting that they talk about ODSTs doing this mission originally, and we're going to do this as a lone Spartan that's in orange War Master armor, which it's grown on me. I didn't like it right away, but it's grown on me. I wish you could customize it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nameless Spartan. I don't see why not.
Yeah, they totally miss it. If this was I don't know, I feel this game, just like the other one, just kind of got thrown out to die. They could have done so much more with it. Make it a fuller game, more experience there. But I think they did flesh it out really well. I think what they built on Spartan Assault, it really stands to this game.
Yep. So the same animation style, same feeling. Gameplay feels similar. I think we all talked about it's a little bit better. It's dialed up a bit. The mission selection screen is also way better. Did you guys notice that?
Yes.
So when you're in the operation, same basic layout, but the map itself is way more meaningful. You can actually see where you are in New Mombasa, and then it does like this little highlight around the area that you're at. It gives you a little blue dot where you start and a little red dot where you stop, where you're ending up, and then it shows kind of how you, as you go through the different missions within the operation, like how you kind of wind your way around the different map, both in New Mombasa and then and then in Gamma and then back in New Phoenix. So yeah, they did a much better job there. There's still scoring goals. We mentioned that already. You can get bronze, silver, and gold. You can upgrade your weapon loadout with the CR, the credit that you gather or obtain during gameplay. That was XP in the previous game. There's armor abilities again, and there's a little bit different. How much of the armor abilities did you guys mess around with? I keep forgetting to use them. I use them every once in a while.
Some of them I forgot, but there's some cool ones in there, especially like some of the new ones they added. Like there was a cool mine that you placed on the ground, and it exploded with needles.
I like that
was pretty
one.
Cool.
I like also the one that's like an AoE for the Prometheans, like shocks them.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that was. It was like you were like a little ball on fire, but like this beam coming off you.
No, that's different. I think that's a teleport one. There's one called here. I'll just run through them.
There was there was a teleport one where you moved like them, and thought that was cool.
Like
but there was one that was like it was red. And
yeah,
it was
big
like,
red
there was a
circle.
red one.
Yeah,
that one I didn't understand.
No, when you got close to Prometheans, it automatically
die.
did damage to them, pretty much. Yeah.
Is that all? Is that what it was doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's called Shock Chain, apparently.
It's pretty sweet.
Shock.
I used it a lot. I also just used regen a lot because it's great.
Yeah.
Regen's a good standard. I like the bubble shield, but what I have to say, if you guys didn't splurge on it, you missed out with the airstrike.
Yeah.
Because that was dope.
I didn't do that one at all.
Yeah.
How was it?
Did you, Colin? It was glorious. When you hit it, when you hit it, the screen zooms out, and like everything you see gets bombed.
Oh.
And it's just like it's kind of like the I think it's one of the airstrike in Halo Wars, the first one, has like an air. I can't remember. It's not the cryo bomb. There was something. Cluster bomb or something.
Yeah.
There's some leader ability. It's like that where it kind of shoots in a bit on the ground and then it kind of explodes. It's cool.
That does sound right. Yeah, I was looking through the options to upgrade and I saw that was there. I was like, I didn't see that during the gameplay at all. But so you have that, the airstrike, you have active camouflage, bubble shield, auto sentry, over shield, proximity mine, regen field, seeker drone, and then the shock chain we talked about, sprint, and then the teleport one. That's where you kind of like, I think that's where you just like go into. Well, there's one of them that you like go into like a little electric ball and you just like zoom it around.
Yeah.
Is that the teleport one?
I took that to be because it kind of looks like the ball of light that the Promethean Knights actually turn into when they teleport. It's so annoying. So it's like, oh, I have this ability now.
I'm the annoying one now.
and I used it once and never again. So
yeah, the difficulty is a little bit weird with the armor abilities. I used a couple of them sometimes, mainly just like the bubble shield when I really need to, and the proximity mine a little bit just because I thought it would help me out. But I feel like the difficulty was dialed in a way where you didn't really need them throughout. So I mean, it's cool to have them, but if you're decently competent at a twin stick shooter, they're just kind of there to have fun with more than to actually need as a necessity to finish a mission. Okay, so we have those. We have the boosters, which are shield upgrade. We have the score upgrade, and then a weapon damage upgrade as well. And those you need to spend your hard-earned CR on. You can also apply total of 2 of the 6 skulls, and those are to give you bonus CR at the end of each mission. They're not for any score. I think I might have misquoted that in Spartan Assault. In a Spartan Assault, they didn't affect your overall score either. It was just for your XP in that game. So the same skulls: Hollow, Pacifist, Famine, Black Eye, Thunderstorm, and Blind. Same exact ones. The addition that this game has is what is this weird vehicle thing that we just talked about, the Mega Bloks thing? It's called the Kestrel. David, can you talk us through this? Like, what is this thing?
Okay, the Kestrel. I remember the one piece of marketing for this, actually reading the Halo Waypoint article and being like, we've invented a new vehicle, look at this, cool new vehicle. That was like the one thing, the selling point for this game. And then you realize it was on Xbox and you forgot about it. And but they invented two things, and it has kind of like two sources. So you have the Kestrel, the AV-30 Kestrel. It's I call it the not ghost, because it's pretty much what you think. It's just not a ghost, but it's a ghost. It actually controls way better, so I kind of like it from that perspective of actually using it. It was way better than using the ghost, which I found really sluggish and like not good to turn. And you got to turn. This vehicle's very good at turning and stuff. It's powered by like 3 air fans around it, so it's not crazy. It looks human designed. It doesn't look like a crazy mock-up of like Forerunner or kind of Covenant technology. Like it hovers in a traditional sense, which is interesting. The standard production is armed with a set of twin-linked Gauss-10 heavy autocannons. Apparently there are some models that have like rocket launcher ones.
Oh.
I'm guessing that those are like the there's probably variants of Mega Bloks, which is kind of the history of where this kind of came from. So apparently this was a vehicle that was pulled from Halo.
Halo 2.
But a lot of it is
right?
Halo 2, yeah, a lot of it is shown on Halo 2's like collector's edition and on the disc and stuff like that. So like it's interesting that like they pulled it out. So like Mega Bloks kind of took it and made a few vehicles of their own, like a Halo Siege bike, this, as well as like a thing called a Quad Walker. So those of you who are Mega Bloks people, that's
the Quad Walker's
claim to
rad.
fame.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright, okay.
So sorry, it was Combat Evolved. It says Kestrel was originally aired. But there was art shown in Halo 2, like art book or something like that.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like the Halo 2's concept is like it's a way bigger vehicle. It actually looks more like a Hornet, in terms of its size, as opposed to like this. You mean like a single person ghost? It's a ghost. It's a human ghost. It's cool. It's interesting. I mean, it makes sense because like the Kestrel is an animal like from a group of falcons that hover in the air. So like I like the naming convention there. I always like the human naming. Actually, generally Halo's naming of vehicles is always pretty cool, of their ships and stuff like that. I like their aesthetic. I guess there's not too much to it. Like it is just a light vehicle. It saw various kind of introductions, and like you've only really seen it in this game. This is its one and only time to shine. It does have a shout out in Halo Legacy of Onyx, which is interesting.
Nice.
So I think I vaguely remember that, but I think it's buried in there somewhere. Of being they're in a hangar's full of vehicles, and there's a Kestrel sitting there or something like that. You know, I don't think it has a crazy big cameo.
That's cool.
But it's interesting, and it suits this game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we needed another vehicle of some sort. The other interesting thing, I don't think you mentioned it, but the Reap X division. Yeah.
This is kind of really cool. This totally makes sense because this is happening in the Halo universe. So like, Oni has a division that is apparently it came together from various other groups of reverse engineering alien tech, which just totally makes sense, and like using it for human purposes. So their biggest moment came with the Infinity engines, where they figured out those and retrofitted them into Infinity, because those are Forerunner engines essentially. It seems like a cool bunch. I like that. Like that's pretty much where Mega Bloks ties in their stuff. It's an canon in universe division.
Right.
That Mega Bloks just kind of says like, yeah, that's us. we made. Here's all the shit we make.
Exactly.
Which is interesting. You know what I mean? It gives them an easy out and an easy way of kind of including these things around. It's pretty cool.
There's another one, and I'm just looking in the Halopedia. So there are 3 Mega Bloks set that use Reap X: the Kestrel, which was just the VTOL originally, Quad Walker, a Siege bike, and then also cites a Turrico, which is referenced in Retribution. And so they must talk about
I remember
Reap
seeing
X
this art
and Retribution, which is rad.
Yeah, because I remember this is a vehicle that they like they go to a base, the ferrets, and like they see this vehicle here and they commandeer it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
That-
the name of it and the art.
That's cool. All right, let's jump into the operations themselves. So we're doing 4, and then we'll do the locked one next time. We'll do a recap the next episode as well. So the first one is Orphic Sphere, and this might be my favorite operation. I don't know. How do you guys? I mean, we're not going to rank them, but like the game starts strong, right?
Yeah, real strong. I immediately was disappointed when it said we dropped ODSTs in and like, oh shit, do you get to control an ODST for the first mission? And then maybe that person becomes the Spartan later on. I'm like, this is awesome.
Oh,
and then no, it's not.
That could have been a cool.
That's where my mind went like straight away of like you play an ODST for the start in 2552, and then when the time skips, that's the Spartan you became a Spartan.
That would be rad.
No, they kill you off really, 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 really badly at the end of it. So, but that's a cool setting for a mission, or even just for a game. Those final moments of the city of New Mombasa before it gets blown the feck up. But it's cool.
I like how this game has like an actual tutorial, whereas I feel like Spartan Assault didn't really. It ramped you up a little bit with that first mission. You're just kind of running around killing grunts. But this one actually says, oh, go through here, hit this button to do this. Now you have to weave through here, and then here's how to drive a vehicle. All that sort of stuff is slowly ramped up. Did you appreciate that tutorial, Krista, or would you rather them just kind of throwing you in?
I actually liked having kind of like the quote-unquote Cortana in this entire thing, just so that there's a storytelling device throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, Lieutenant Kwan is her name.
Yeah, and she's not an AI or anything. She's just a lady that talks to you. But I enjoy her talking to me.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have someone, like, walk you through everything. Like, hey, you can throw grenades and break barriers. And, hey, you can pick up stuff. And you can change grenades. And you can get in vehicles. And it was nice to have just a normal tutorial. Because Spartan Assault just kind of threw you in.
Yeah.
Like, you know what a twin stick shooter is. Just do it.
Do the stuff. I'm going to read you here's the objectives on the screen. Just do those. Yeah. Lieutenant Kwan, could you tell, like, in universe, does she live in 2557 is she sitting next to you while you're playing this game as a Spartan? Or is she like, was she the commander of the actual ops throughout? You know what I mean?
Unclear.
I think it feels like it's written back and forth a little bit, but I think the intention was that she's there, telling you about, like, she's almost like your teacher or something like that, telling you about the mission. But
she's part of the program. Yeah. Probably the training simulation.
I think that would make the most sense for it. The second mission of this game is a mind blower. It's called On Top of the World, and you're on top of these buildings, and we talked about the floor box in this game, and the floor box I feel like is better in this first operation than it is in later on. There's not a whole lot to see, but you get to see the long bridge that you drive across in
the Halo 2 bridge. Yes. Yay! I was so excited about that. I saw it. I'm like, oh my god, that's the Halo 2 bridge.
Yeah, and you see the scarab crawling across that thing to start with, which you don't.
I missed that.
Do you see that in Halo 2? You see the scarab? You do, don't you?
You see the end of it, I think, as it moves. Because it's like you're under the area and it's the scarab's above you shooting down into the ground and breaking through floors.
But that's
and
later
and
on.
Stuff.
That's later in.
Is that later on? I thought it was right before you get to the bridge. Because you're underground the thing, and then you come up.
Oh,
and
you
then
are
the
right.
cutscene starts.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right. So you get to see that thing crawl all the way across, and then later on in the mission, you get to see. It shows 2, but you get to see 2 scorpions crossing, and one of those has got to be Master Chief, right? So it's maybe like Master Chief playing co-op or something. I don't know. There's 2 scorpions that are going across that bridge later, which is super rad. So that was a lot of fun to see. The mission itself is okay, I guess. You're running across the rooftops and blowing stuff up. There's a satchel charge that you use to blow up some barriers. But just the whole the whole realization, like, whoa, this is actually it just helps solidify that it's happening during Halo 2. Any other highlights for you guys in this first operation, Krista?
Super slow warthog.
Yeah?
A3.
Yeah,
Very
right.
slow.
Because you're just on the chain gun, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, could you drive a little faster? They put like a little grandma in charge of driving the Warthog.
I assumed that was tied to the fact that the elephant was so slow and you were supposed to be protecting that. So it was like, oh, we'll just hang out here with the elephant.
Yeah, that was my
But,
thought too.
No.
Initially, when I saw it and like I was like, oh shit, there's a Warthog in this game, cool. I didn't think you'd get in it. But like the fact that there's more vehicles in this game than the first one is really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good, interesting point.
Also, why can we control the Warthog turret in this game, but we can't in the first-person shooter? Why can't we have this technology there?
Oh, good point.
They did have a good line though of like it's linked to your helmet.
Yeah.
So like in the way that like I think attack helicopters have chain guns that are attached to the pilot's helmet and follow his line of sight. That's a real thing now. So I thought that was cool.
Yep, totally agree. And there's like this like throughout the entire operation, there's like you get the conduit, and then the conduit is stolen back from you later on, and then you steal it back. Like there's this weird tug of war. It's kind of cool though when you do have it. You see the Spirit dropship. I think it's the next mission, Operation 4. What's it called? Reversal of Fortune. You see the Spirit dropship come down, and then you see the little commander go into your. I think it's an elephant at that point. It drops into the elephant, grabs it, and then hijacks out of there. What else is there? Then you have the Spirit crashes eventually, and then the last mission is the Pelican crashes because it has to crash, right? That's gonna pick you up, and then it's just like this race through the city streets on the Warthog, which I thought was cool. That was fun.
I like that point too.
Any other highlights at all you guys want to mention? The weapons felt good throughout. I think there's a couple more weapons that aren't. I think maybe later in the game there's some that are introduced. I think in this first area they're pretty basic. Most of the stuff that we've seen from
they did bring in the BR. The grenade launcher.
Yes. So is the grenade launcher in this first area or is that later?
It's in the first operation anyway.
Okay.
The grenade launcher. Yeah.
The BR
I was definitely
shreds.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know the way we were complaining about the jackals and their shields? The BR is the answer.
Oh yeah.
2 bursts.
And
you've killed it.
It has like no ammo though, so that's the kickback.
But on the other side, I couldn't help but fall over the amount of weapons in this game in terms of weapon lockers and places.
Yeah.
Like the map is just covered with weapons. So like if you run out of ammo for the gun you want, you can go back and pick it up. I did that loads of time. I'm like, I don't want to change weapon. I'm going back to get ammo for this weapon. It was cool. It was fun that way.
All right, so then in Operation B, so after we do the 2552, the slip space thing, and like, I guess it's weird how they explain it because the conduit itself, apparently it can save itself by jumping into slip space, which is cool, but also weird. So the ODST team that was escaping with the conduit didn't make it, but the conduit itself was like, oh shit, I'm gonna blow up, I guess I'm gonna slip space out of here. So somehow it has the ability to do that, and so it found itself on Gamma Halo. That's Halo 03, right? That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, installation 3, and that's right around when the composer was being investigated at Ivanov Station in Halo 4, and so they'd mention Ivanov Station in this as well because it's right by Gamma Halo, and so now we're going to be over there kind of along the same time that Chief's sniffing around with the Requiem and Didact, all that sort of stuff is kind of happening at the same time, which is a cool crossover. So 5 years in the future now, there's this mysterious signal that Ivanov Station has detected, and now we send in this mystery Spartan. So this mystery Spartan, I don't think we really know much about him. Like the ODST people, there is a name, and I'll cover that in trivia. But this mystery Spartan is just, we don't know anything about this person. This super secret orange Spartan. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna go drop on Gamma Halo. I did like the setting of Gamma Halo, like the foliage and like the the art style. It was very green and foresty and whatnot. So I thought that looked pretty good. But I do feel like even from this point, like the missions are fine, but they don't hit on the same note as that first New Mombasa operation.
I think the first operation had a lot of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's true. Any highlights in as we're kind of wandering around Game of Halo trying to find this conduit?
There's a mission where it's like you need to get to a wraith, and then the mission ends when you get to the wraith.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing.
Yeah. There's a few of the missions that I felt like ended abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't think that was the end objective of the mission. It was like, you load in, go do the thing, takes you 5 seconds, you do the thing, mission over. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the Prometheans? How fighting the Prometheans top down? We haven't done that yet.
I never realized they were in it. I never really looked that closely at the key art or paid any attention to this game, clearly. But I was like, oh shit, the Prometheans in this game. And I have to say, quite enjoyed fighting the Prometheans. And that's a lot coming from me who hates fighting Prometheans.
Much better than Halo 4, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Probably because the knights went down super easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Once I saw it was set in 2557, I'm like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the crawlers are good. They make good, I don't know, bullet fodder. There's enough that they're all over the place and they can overwhelm you. They're challenging, but they're not they're not too bad.
Promethean weapons are real fun.
Oh
too.
yeah, they are. And the Watchers aren't super annoying either, which is nice.
Yeah, there's not too many of them.
That's true. Yeah.
There's one mission later on where there's a bunch of them, but even then they're not hard. So yeah, having all those Promethean weapons, like the incineration cannon, love that thing. I think so much fun. It destroys.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of the what do they call, assault ops that are surrounded by like killing Prometheans with certain weapons and whatnot. And so a couple of those are incineration cannon challenges, which is good. The one that you mentioned, Krista, where you go to get the Wraith, the one after that is the one I just highlighted, is when you're actually in the Wraith.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And and maybe it was just me, I don't know if I just didn't drive enough Wraiths in Spartan Assault, but when it fires its cannon, I felt like that animation was better. At least maybe it just realized how good it was when the whole unit, the whole vehicle, like pushes back a smidge. Did you guys notice that at all when you were firing that thing?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe that's carried over. It could be the same exact asset, and I just didn't notice it in the first game. But driving around the Wraith was a lot of fun. It felt powerful, and the plasma cannon felt like it did its job pretty well.
I felt it had a better range as well.
Oh yeah, it had a great range.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. The one that's I guess worth mentioning that's just a little weird, and it's throughout the rest of the game here. On the fifth mission here, it's called Dormant, is when you have to stand on those little platforms that light up, and you guys did that in the co-op of Spartan Assault, so something similar. Did you have to power the thing up as well? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, there was a 2-person thing where one of us controlled, one of them powered, and I did the exact same thing of the slow spiral on the circle. It's pretty much the exact same mechanic.
Okay, so they call that in the game, I had to look this up because I missed it, but it's called a bioscan platform, so that's what that whole thing is.
Oh yeah.
So apparently because you're standing on it, it's going to power up whatever you're trying to power up. And so in this dormant mission, you have to go around powering up three of those signals to move on to the next objective. And then on the 6th mission, that's when you finally get to jump in the Kestrel and you finally get to experience the Kestrel for the first time, which is a lot of fun.
It works very nice for this kind of gameplay. It really does.
You said you had a love-hate, maybe?
Yeah, I just I was just kind of confused. I'm like, we have so many things that looks very similar to this already. Why aren't we using one of the other things we have? Why are we creating something like brand new just for this game? But I didn't know it was mentioned in Ghosts of Onyx, which makes it a bit better. But I'm like, did you really need to make a brand new vehicle for this game? Was the vehicles we already have not good enough for you? I like it. It's a lot of fun, but I'm just like, we really need something new? Do I really need something else to remember about Halo?
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, to David's point, they're not Ghost.
Yeah, I don't. That's its worst thing. Like, I don't think we need to have human equivalents of all other vehicles, or vice versa, like which Halo does. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of that. Of like, they have a vehicle that does this, so we'll make a slightly alien version of that.
Yeah.
That'll be a new thing.
We could have had a gun goose or something.
That actually would have been pretty cool.
They've been hard to
but I think,
control, though. Oof.
yeah, definitely. One thing which I haven't mentioned that I've loved in this game are the stick indicators, the arrow and the dash.
Yes, the dash is huge.
If you're playing on the controller, that it shows you where your stick is pointing on the screen is perfect.
It's so
That's
nice.
excellent, and I think that probably helps a lot of the vehicle control issues as well. Because he's even using there's a Spartan, no, there's a Scorpion in this game, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's and it made that controlling it way easier of knowing where you were going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a lot easier to drive it.
I'll just say when I got into the castle and you start burning stuff, that was fun.
Yeah. I felt good about it. I thought it was pretty powerful. But to your point, because it's like, really, why, but it ties in with that whole Repex thing that we mentioned before. It's like Unity stole technology, made their own version of the thing. So cool. Should we move on?
Yes.
All right. Operation C is Valiant Hammer. So this cutscene, let's see, what did I write down? Discover that the conduit can open. So you discover it can open slip space portals. And we mentioned, I think it's here. It mentions that it can save itself from destruction. So that's kind of a throwback to what I mentioned earlier, why it found itself on 25 or on Gamma Halo in 2557. This opening cutscene is weird though, because I guess it's explaining you're back on New Mombasa. You're escaping. You're the Spartan, the orange Spartan, escaping New Mombasa right as the slip space, whatever that destruction is happening from regret. But then you're like doing a whole new operation. So it's like I don't know. It was a little discombobulated for me, this whole cutscene. Plus, it should have been the ODSTs in that Warthog, but that probably would have confused the player even more. So I get what they were trying to do, just tell the story, but it's just telling that this device can open portals, and that's what it can do in Forerunner technology. And so what it just explains more about how the Covenant want to use it to bring Prometheans to Earth. And remember that this is Jewel and Dama's Covenant. So
yes.
Just something else to keep in mind. All right, so Operation C, we're still on Gamma Halo. The very start, I just wanted to mention this. Again, it's a crashing pelican moment, but you start, you're like on your back in the rubble of a pelican, and you like push off some debris, which I thought was a really nice touch. And then you run on to do the rest of the mission. There's also, I think this is the first mission where you see those little mines that pop up and chase you around.
Yeah, the brute chieftains have them.
Yeah, why are there brute chieftains in this? Did that make any sense to you guys?
Because after the Covenant died, pretty much, like, Jewel Mandama didn't really have many brutes in his thing, because the brutes were like, well, fuck, we don't have any reason to be here anymore.
Yeah. Well, I was just surprised to see them, because we don't see them in Halo 4 at all, but all of a sudden they're here on Gamma Halo with Jewel.
They were nice to have. They're only ever really chieftains with gravity hammers, so I guess it's just a way for them to put in gravity hammers.
Yeah. It's more of a variant, like an enemy variant, but from like a lore perspective, we never see them in Halo 4 at all. So, and we haven't seen them in Halo 5 either.
That's true, actually. They don't really make much sense. I never thought about that when I was playing the game.
So anyway, I think it was an asset they had from the previous game. They kept it. I mean, it could make sense, but just a little weird to see, I thought. Let's see, the third mission, Till Death To Us Part, that's where we finally get in the Scorpion. And that's where you drive around and you have to deactivate the hard light shields that are blocking your way. So you drive the Scorpion around, you hop out, then you go and push a button and then hop back in the Scorpion, and you can advance. That was pretty good. So, David, you said you liked the new controls. You felt like it felt better anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Krista, did you enjoy driving that Scorpion around?
Oh yeah, the Scorpion was great.
Yeah. No Grizzly, but it's still good.
No Grizzly.
What else do I have here? So I have Deliverance, which is the fifth one also highlighted. It says escape to the extraction zone. Oh, this is the one where there's a bunch of mortar So you're running around and you're like constantly getting bombarded the entire mission, and you're just kind of running around to different areas. You have to get down to a landing zone and kind of hold out for a while, and then there's like a ghost and a warthog that's in that final area. You go around, clear all the Covenant out. I think I hopped in the ghost to start with, and then that blew up, and then I got in the warthog after that. So that mission was pretty decent, I thought. Any other highlights for you, David?
Nothing else. I kind of enjoyed the game, going through it every second mission.
Yeah.
But no, I can't remember anything specific that stood out. I just, in those missions,
They do
kind
kind of run together, but I think part of
really
a little bit, yeah.
but part of that's because I think the game is structured a little bit, I don't know, a little bit better than Spartan Assault, where it's like where you end one mission, and they did this in Spartan Assault too, but I feel like they did it even better in Spartan Strike, where you're ending a mission. Plus, there's the map that shows you kind of like, okay, I'm here, and now I'm here over next, and I'm gonna go rescue the Wraith, and now I'm in the Wraith. So stuff like that makes it all feel like one big operation. Did you guys use I feel like there are binary rifles in this. I think there's the binary rifles here.
Yep.
Those are good. What else? I don't think I used the Needler as much in this game.
No.
I used it a little bit.
No, I barely used it.
What's the most common Promethean weapon called again? The little
Scatter? No.
Suppressor.
Yeah, suppressor.
the suppressor. I use that quite a bit. Yeah, suppressor is like all over, because with all those
the crawlers.
the crawlers, you could just
Yeah.
circle around and get infinite ammo with those things, and just mow them down. So that felt good.
Yeah, that was my go-to when I ran out of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the last mission here is that you need to go and hijack a spirit. So similar to Spartan Assault, where you're stealing a Phantom, or I think it was a Phantom in Spartan Assault. So similar type of thing where you got to get off the Halo to then get back to Earth. And so you do that, and then the next cutscene starts back up, and it says that their portals were open. So you needed to stop the portals in the last mission, but the portal's still open. So now you got to go and get back to New Phoenix. And so this is like the third setting, right? So we are New Mombasa, Gamma Halo, and now on New Phoenix. And this whole thing is you're running around this Oni facility, and you're protecting some researchers right away, and then you're really you have to shut down some security, and then you got to turn it back on. And I felt like this last mission, the last operation, it kind of fell flat for me because it was really just running around in circles. It didn't get super interesting. It was more enemies, more encounters, a little more Kestrel, which was all fine, but I felt like it kind of ended on a little bit of a flat note for me. Krista, how did you feel about the way the game ended up?
D. I mean, there was a couple cool things in D. D5 had that insane amount of missiles coming down at you constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I was really stressed out about because it was at the end of the mission. I'm like, oh god, don't hit me.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, even though I had so much trouble with D6 and it crashing constantly, it was still kind of cool. You had to align the thing, and then you had to put the conduit there, and then it stopped the portals from coming out, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as memorable. I think it's just because, we've never been to New Phoenix, so we don't have any connection with it.
It's true.
And it just looks like another base, human base, basically.
Yeah, it's a good point. David, any thoughts on this, on how the game kind of wraps up the last couple missions?
A little bit of a downer, yeah. I thought the game definitely started way stronger. There wasn't any main boss in this, so there wasn't I wasn't expecting how the way the first game ended with an assassination automatic. That was kind of cool. So I wasn't really sure what to expect in this. It did fall a little bit flat, but let's just push a button and the game's over.
Yeah.
But what I did at the very end is I splurged out on some credits and bought a rocket launcher and just went yeah, this is cool. Have some homing rockets, everybody.
Yeah, I didn't really experiment with the credit stuff, the purchasing stuff, as much as I should have. I guess what I did, because I wanted to unlock the gold and the next operation, is I did, when I went through this, and I had gold on maybe, I don't know, not quite half of the missions from my previous playthrough. But I just went through, when I did this playthrough, I just went and got the score booster and then just got gold on all of them. So the score booster helps quite a bit. I think pretty much every time I bought a score booster, I was guaranteed gold. So
yeah,
it helps a lot.
What I did is I didn't even want to play the missions over again, so I just defaulted. The first thing I did when I started up a new mission was buy the score booster.
Did you run?
I started doing that near the end.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you run into any problems not having enough credits, Krista?
Nope. I did all of Operation A without the score booster, and by the end of that, I had like 13,000 credits.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so I was fine after that. I tried to do some of the objectives just to get some extra credits, but I still finished off the game with like 8,000 credits.
I think it gives you loads when you start for playing the other games and stuff. Because I feel like in the first Operation, I was looking at that and I had 13,000 or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yeah, I think
sweet.
it just gives you a bunch. Because this is our first time playing it as well, so it probably awarded us bonus things for playing all the other Halos or something.
That's a good point. Yeah, so that last mission, you're running around. It's fine. You know, it's like its own little arena. You're running around, and you have your technicians there, and you got to go say hi to them for a little bit, and then go away and say hi to somebody else. And then, so there's a lot to it, but you're just kind of running around this little map. So that was fine for me. I would have been very frustrated if I was in your shoes, Krista. With my controller.
I loaded, so after like 4 crashes of me finishing the mission, getting gold, and then it crashing and me not being able to save, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna restart my computer, start it all the way over, reboot it. And I was pretty much about to like text you guys and be like, I'm fucking done.
I'm out.
I'm so done with this. But the 5th try, it worked. I was able to actually register. I'm not sure if it was a little more difficult because I not only finished the last mainline mission in this, so there was a cutscene after, but I also had all gold at that point.
Oh.
So that after that, it had to play another cutscene.
Yeah.
So it might have just been a lot for the game to process at once.
Sure.
I was unlocking too much stuff at once. I think that was the ultimate problem, but I was able to get around it. So
Nice.
I do have E unlocked, and I'm very happy.
That's good. Yeah, I think, and we'll probably talk about it in the recap, but I feel the whole getting the gold on all the missions to access the other mission, it sucked a lot of the fun out of it. There should have been a different carrot to get some loot or something like that. So the other frustrating thing about this will be my last point on Operation D, is there's a lot of use of just kind of holding out, just surviving, and go to a
Gives you a
spot and just
timer.
defend, and the last mission you do that a little bit too. The timer thing wasn't that interesting, it got old over time.
Yeah.
It was decent, early on in the game, but at this point it's just like, oh, I gotta hold out again. Okay, cool. And a lot of the times I would, when my shield would go down, the shield's pretty forgiving, but my shield will go down, I would just have to run away to a barrier and just kind of hide in the corner for my shield to recharge, and then I could go back out and chuck some grenades or something. Did you guys use? I think I'm getting confused. No, I did play Operation E. There is a cool. The last mission of that is decent, so we'll talk about that later. Did you guys use the grenade launcher at all?
A little bit, not much.
It wasn't great for me.
Yeah, I tried it.
It wasn't super accurate. I feel like, I don't know. It was cool because it was a Halo 4 weapon, but it just wasn't my favorite.
It was hard to judge how
It was a reach.
far
Oh yeah, it was
it
in
went.
Reach. The sticky detonator is Halo 4. That's right.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty much like the brute shot.
Yeah, but I like the brute shot better. I think the brute shot did show up here and there, but that seemed more
It did, yeah.
accurate. Whereas this is like a little grenade that bounced around and blew up. So they have the splinter grenades were another thing. I used the splinter grenades quite a bit. I think in Operation C when you had, I think in Operation D too, where there was the focus turrets. I would throw a splinter grenade, and it wouldn't kill it right away, but when it did its big boom at the end, then it would take them out in one grenade as opposed to a couple grenades.
The electric grenades were real cool. The kind of EMP grenades. They were fun. They were like an ability in the first game, and they were grenades in this one. I thought they were fun.
A couple more comments just on this these 4 operations in general, or I guess the game. Same exact music, which I thought was, I don't know, they could have switched it up a little bit, like the whole intro menu music, all that stuff. Exact same from both the 2 tablet games. Let's see, what else did I have here? Oh, no time. Didn't have to worry about time at all, which was nice.
Yeah, which was nice.
Yeah, and that didn't affect your score at all. You could play at your leisure, which I thought was a lot better. Yeah, I like how it ramped up. We talked about at the beginning how you kind of slowly teaches you the game and unveils things more and more. Yeah, so those are my main thoughts. Anything else, David, before we move on to trivia?
No, overall, really good game. I did enjoy it. If it wasn't for like all the crashes, I think I'd be speaking way more highly of it.
Yeah.
Because like performance-wise, that part of it was really bothersome. The controller support was really good. I hate PC games. And what else? I don't know. Yeah, I think it should be on Xbox.
Well, as a PC game, it's not. I mean, maybe we talked about this on the last episode, the Spartan Assault episodes, but it's not a great PC game. It's fine. It's not even that great of an Xbox game, but it is made for tablet. Like if I had this thing on my tablet or on my Switch, I think it would be a lot better experience. Just a little bite-sized Halo thing that you gotta pick up, put down, a couple minutes of mission. So similar thoughts to Spartan Assault.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not playing this game the way it should be played. You're supposed to, like, pick it up, play one mission, and then put it down, and we're, like, sitting there marathoning everything in one night.
Exactly.
So. That's true, that's true.
Yeah, well, and to that point, and I mean, I feel like there should be more, right? That maybe there should have been a couple more operations that they give you, or DLC that you can purchase.
Surprised the co-op is gone.
Yeah.
To be honest. That would have been fun.
Oh, the co-op was
a really good
fun,
mode.
Yeah. It would have crashed on us all the time, though. It would have been a nightmare.
Oh, it would have been a disaster.
All right, let's do some trivia quick, and then we will do community and get out of here. So as I mentioned, Halopedia apparently abandoned this game. They didn't want anything to do with this game after a certain point, so there's not a whole lot on there. But our good friend Chris Aiken, who is a contributor for Halopedia, gave me a couple points to chat about. So I'll read those off real quick. The original operation to recover the conduit in 2552, so in Operation A, was done by the ODST fire team named A5. The operation is technically called Operation Windowpane, and there was an intel, a data drop from the Halo Legendary loot crates that kind of explains all that stuff, which is cool. It's also possible. So the kind of a theory here is it's possible that Regret fled Earth in Halo 2 back, in that first operation because the Covenant lost possession of the conduit. So he was looking for a slipspace portal thing. That's like the intel that he had. And when he lost that, when he lost the conduit, then he's like, okay, I'm out of here. And that's when he, went and I guess he somehow came across Halo 4 or Installation 5, excuse me. So that could be a tie-in there, right? Like they're maybe explaining a little bit more of his retreat from Earth. You can see the conduit itself, and you see it on the back of the Spartan throughout the game when he's carrying it around, or when one of the Covenant commanders has it and is stealing it. But the conduit is also in the 7th terminal from Halo 2 Anniversary, which we talked about. I think it's back in our Halo 2 coverage, so that was cool. There's the large presence, so there's a bunch of, as you know, the Prometheans and then also the Covenant on Gamma Halo. There's a lot of Covenant here, and that might explain within Spartan Strike maybe they're trying to explain why you don't see any Covenant on the Midnight level in Halo 4, because they're all of the Covenant. You're only fighting Prometheans in Midnight, whereas all the Covenant, all the alien races are on Gamma Halo taking care of this Spartan, or trying to. And then the final cutscene of the game, it describes a mystery Spartan. And so this is like when you get gold on everything, you do get a bonus cutscene called Pure Gold. And it says the final cutscene describes a mystery Spartan. So this is our guy going out on missions relating to portals, because there's all these portals that are still open out, and there's a Spartan that needs to go and help out with that. Go help close those portals. And so that's this same Spartan that we've been playing as throughout this game, and that's a thread that's another one of those threads that 343 hasn't done with. So there's the Spartan exists in the lore and the canon, and he did some stuff after this in after 2557, but we don't know where he is or what he's up to. All right, let's do community and we'll get out of here. Dave, what you got?
Woo!
The communities, which are the Facebook ones, we have Colin Perkin created a poll.
I did.
A poll, everybody. On the 26th of May at 6:38 p.m. What era or conflict would make the most interesting setting for a secondary gaming experience in Halo? Add your own options. Question for Mission Debrief, Hell's Strike, Operations A through D. He spelled the through, TH or U. Just want everyone to know that. We have, by a country mile, as they say, the Human Forerunner Wars has 21 votes. The UNSC versus Insurrection, Formation of the Covenant, and Sangheili Civil War. 4 options that got added. Sangheili Civil War is pretty cool, actually. I was surprised the Human Forerunner Wars. People want to go back that far.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And you'd imagine space battles and whatnot.
Technology.
There's all yeah.
Can I draw this? For some reason, this made me think of it. There was an interesting comment. I was okay. So there's if you're familiar with Late Night Gaming, he has his YouTube channel, lots of good Halo coverage out there. But he had a commenter on one of his videos talk about how Promethean weapons, specifically, they thought that Promethean weapons should have been geared more around defeating the Flood. Which, when you think about that kind of makes sense, right? There was the Human Covenant War, but then also, the Human Forerunner War, but also the Forerunner. They're fighting the Flood for a long time as well. So it would have been interesting in Halo 4 and 5, that the weapons themselves would have been more for like flamethrowers and things that like went on the ground to get all the infection forms and things like that. So that was a really cool concept, really interesting comment.
I have a rebuttal to that. 1, scatter shot for infection forms.
That's true. Yeah.
2, these weapons dissolve you when they kill you.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Yep. I remember us talking about that in Halo 5.
Yeah. So they are obviously for Flood. It's just human matter and Flood matter are very similar. We're both big fleshy piles.
Yeah. Yeah, the dissolve thing is what I forgot about, but that makes total sense. Yeah, so they did account. So I guess 343, as they were creating it, they did account for that whole Flood thing. Yeah, I do remember us talking about that. But anyway, just an interesting concept that maybe the way that the weapons fired would have been something a little bit different. But okay, anyway, let's keep going on the community stuff.
Did you finish, David? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to the Discord, and I would like to say I have been crowned queen of the Discord. I have
That doesn't mean anything.
I have subjects now.
Oh boy.
I have my own channel dedicated to how I am the best host now. Please join my army, so we can take over the Discord, and then the Halo community, and then the world.
Oh boy.
So thank you to all my friends who are being very nice to me. We're having a good time. I wanted to make sure I gave my subjects an honorable mention.
What are they called? What are your subjects called?
Subjects.
Oh, just subject. Okay.
Yeah, they're my subjects. I'm the queen. They're my subjects. So funny thing about this question. Every once in a while, I like to go into Mission Debrief and tell people, "Hey, we're recording tonight, so get your answers in now." And so I loaded up the Discord, and I'm like, "There's no question here."
Yeah, that was my fault.
That's okay. So we don't have as many responses on this question as
Sorry,
maybe
Discord.
the
No
Facebook.
disrespect. No disrespect. It was completely
Major
my fault. I did the poll. So
disrespect.
here's my rationale. I did the poll on Facebook first. I was waiting because in Discord you can't add any responses, but in Discord or in Facebook you can. So what I was gonna do is say, okay, hey Facebook, here's my ideas, the 4 ones that we listed, and I was hoping people would add some more, but they didn't add any more. And then I forgot about it. So anyway.
So it's the same question. The Sangheili Civil War wins with 8 votes. The UNSC versus Insurrection comes in second with 7 votes. The Human Forerunner War comes in third with 4 votes, and the Formation of the Covenant comes in last with 2 votes.
Okay. So Healy won this one,
Interesting.
whereas was Forerunner human before.
I guess everybody just wants to kill more old dudes on chairs. They like that part of Halo 2, and they want more of it. So we have some comments. Spartan.
Well, wait a minute. Healy, not the Xiang.
Oh, you mean the Healy
Civil War?
Civil War with. Okay, yeah.
Like the post Halo 5 or post Halo 4 or Halo 5 stuff.
So it would be the insurrection.
Actually, post Halo 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they killed some old dudes on chairs too.
They probably did. The few that were left.
All right. So Spartan 80085. Just to imagine that number in your head real quick. Hashtag Krista is best host. He says, all Healy weaponry? Why not? I mean, Krista and I will be able to use the beautiful needle rifle again. Also, Krista is best host. Can't forget that. Mitch Gordon says, yes. I also want real stealth game cough cough ODST set as Spartans infiltrating a super covenant carrier. And he says, also, the Healy War would be cool because of the liches or the licks.
The licks.
The licks. And now people are
try.
asking what the question is. Kat says, why can't it be the Forerunner Flood War? It'd be cool to experience more of the Flood and be in a losing battle, constantly falling back to other worlds until the firing of the Halo array, killing you as you fight off the Flood. So you just want another Halo Reach then, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Kat just wants another Halo Reach. Strike Thief says Human Forerunner War, and then another set of stories / games set in the Flood War from the Forerunner's perspective. I really want that. Mitch Gordon says Chief Temple Run through High Charity. This isn't an answer, but mention please because of the honor of Krista. Now I have to wade through conversations. Lord Beerman says, need to see human on human. Not seen that yet. You know, killing Johnson for the laser doesn't count. Already seen human v alien and alien v alien. So we want to see some insurrection action.
Yeah.
We want to kill other peoples. And then Spartan Tundra says human Forerunner. Then we can actually see how Forerunners fought.
Yeah, we haven't seen that really. There's been a couple of cutscenes here and there, but that would be interesting.
Yeah, we get to see their cool armor suits and their giant weapon suits as well.
How big they are, yeah.
Just giant shit. Okay. I mean, the Didact is like 16 feet tall, so do we really want to be fighting skyscrapers for an entire game?
That sounds terrible.
Sounds terrifying. That's all I got from Discord. Thank you, my loyal subjects. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for participating as always. We love you all. That will do it for our debriefing of the main campaign from Spartan Strike. On the next episode, we'll be covering the locked operation titled Brothers Keeper and recapping our thoughts of the game. Send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. You can also support the show by visiting Podcast Evolved on Patreon. And don't forget your free audiobook trial. Visit audibletrial.com/podcastevolved. I got it twice. Right in this show. Until next time, evolve.
Evolved.
Evolve!